Welcome to the 5th Digital Pathways Seminar. This digital literacy series for small business owners is made possible by the Metropolitan Partnership Development Fund, an initiative from the Department of Jobs, Precincts and Regions. It is a collaboration between Bayside, Boroondara, Glen Eira and Stonington City Councils. This seminar will take a deep dive into the awareness stage of the digital sales cycle. Today, we'll begin by taking a closer look at the awareness stage of the digital sales cycle. This will include exploring the goals of the awareness stage and the guiding rules for creating content. Then we'll move on to some marketing techniques you can use in the awareness stage, including being informative, offering a window into the transformative potential of your product, contextualizing your brand through collaboration with other businesses, and attempting to make yourself newsworthy, as well as offering free tools. So the awareness stage is the first phase of the digital sales cycle, the first phase of the buyer journey. This stage is when the market first becomes aware of your brand and your offerings. It's often an overlooked aspect of the sales cycle, as most marketers want to focus on conversion optimization and upselling at the sales point of the cycle. But taking time to get this stage properly set up will help to cement your digital brand and make conversion easier in the later stages of the cycle. Your job at the awareness stage is to attract interest in your brand and generate potential leads. This early stage of the cycle is your chance to make a strong first impression. So having a strong understanding of your brand and having your messaging, values, imagery, and unique selling points well fleshed out is crucial at this stage. You cannot create an effective awareness strategy without a strong and consistent brand. So if you do not have those branding elements established yet, I recommend you go back to the branding episode of this seminar series. So at the awareness stage of the sales cycle, your goals are to position your brand in places where your target audience is going to go searching, to explain who you are and what you do, to illustrate the problem or need that your business can resolve, and to demonstrate the transformative potential of your offerings. Customers at this stage of the cycle have a vague idea of a want or need, but it is still a bit nebulous. They are casting around on the internet to see if they can better define that need. Your goal is to make sure your brand pops up during this fishing expedition and preferably helps the customer better understand their problem or their need. Now, if you have been participating in the last 4 weeks of this course, you should already have most of the elements required for a strong awareness strategy. That is because, like I said before, this stage really is all about strong branding. Your brand mission, values, and unique selling points should already explain who you are, what you do, and what problem or need your business can resolve. You can extrapolate from these to create content that demonstrates the transformative potential of what you have to offer. So the guiding rules for creating content at the awareness stage are you need to create content that does not put any selling pressure on the buyer. This is purely a meet and greet, a first impression. You're not at a selling conversion point. Any content you create needs to be short and sweet and offer as much upfront value as possible. You don't want to create articles that people need to go on to deep dives into. You want things that are easily accessible, easy to consume, take no more than a moment or two of the consumer's time. You need to create content that consistently reflects your company's values. So once again, we're focusing on branding. You need to demonstrate potential solutions to a need or a problem, or illustrate the transformative effect of your product. Again, you need to do this in as simpler terms as possible. So with imagery, video, or short pieces of content. You also need to be easy to understand and answer initial questions that somebody who is at the awareness stage of trying to define a problem might be asking. So now we're going to look at a few techniques that you can use at the awareness stage of your marketing sales cycle. So here is a generic example of brand awareness creating content that answers an initial question that a consumer might have. So this content is short, sweet, informative, and provides maximum value for effort expended. It would be ideal content for a removalist company. So here, someone has just typed in, what is the best way to pack glasses for moving? Google provides, the content that Google pulls up provides a really fast answer. There's no clicking or scrolling required. You just press play on the video, or you read the 3 steps in the answers down the bottom. It's very easy to understand and it's very easy to consume. Here is a more localized example. So here we can see that although Google hasn't adopted the same question and answer format on the search results like with the previous image, it has prioritized sites that immediately answer the question. So the question here is, can I move house during lockdown in Melbourne? So the first answer is the government site, which does it incredibly simply and effectively by putting yes at the start. Now, the next 2 that go down from here, so moval.com and homemove.com.au, also answer the question with a little more detail. So Moval says that you can move house and removalists are permitted to assist, but outside of your home. And then Home Move says Home Move can operate as a permitted business during stage 4 restrictions. So you've got a little bit more information on there. Looking at how Google prioritizes answers like this is really useful because Google's AI is designed to think like a customer at the awareness stage of the sales cycle. It's going to prioritize the same thing that customers at this stage want. So again, we've got short, sharp answers that require very little clicking. Of course, there is also the option to take the paid marketing route here with Google Ads to ensure that you end up somewhere near the top of the search results. Here is an example of creating awareness through branding and lifestyle imagery. So this brand that we're looking at here is demonstrating the transformative power of their products to enable the person researching the brand to understand what it might be like, what their life might be like if they invested in products from this brand. So this brand is relying heavily on Instagram to articulate their brand image and values. This particular brand is a Melbourne jewelry designer who takes a lot of inspiration from the jewelry worn in antiquity in ancient Greece, Rome, Byzantium, etc. The feed is not heavily selling anything. There's no written content advertising a sale. Rather, the majority of the posts are depicting the jewelry in action, so contextualized in a kind of aesthetically decadent fantasy world filled with ripe tomatoes, long lunches with friends, images, elements of the natural world. We've got flowers, we've got honeycomb. We can also see sources of inspiration here in the form of paintings and ceramics. So this brand is using a combination of imagery, of inspirational imagery and lifestyle imagery to demonstrate the transformative potential of the products that it offers. Now, in terms of creating reach, the brand uses a combination of paid advertising and influencer engagement via videos and podcasts on influencers' pages to draw users onto the page. Then, as I said, this page is curated to demonstrate that brand language and values to customers who come to look, as well as it articulates the lifestyle that they could theoretically have a piece of when they buy the jewelry. Now, other techniques you can use to draw users onto your social media page could include things like hashtags and tagging. These are fairly old methods, but they are still effective. Making your items shoppable so they turn up in the shopping section of the Instagram app, or even going through the followers of a similar brand and engaging with them in the hopes that they're going to like your page. Here is an example of creating awareness through newsworthiness or also brand cross-promotion. So making yourself newsworthy is a trickier awareness technique because it requires a bit of luck and often a lot of networking. This is more or less an extension of the awareness technique where you're presenting a possible solution to a need or a problem. It's just that this time you're doing it on somebody else's channel. So basically, it involves making yourself newsworthy, so brands that cross over with your own promote you to your shared target audience. So to do this, first of all, you need to have a good understanding of your target audience and a solidly recognizable brand. Next, you need something new or to be a new business, or you need something relevant to the particular problems or needs of your that your target audience is facing at a particular time. So in this example, we have a feature on foods that are outside the urban foodie audience of Broadsheet, outside their 10K zone imposed by lockdown. There's also a feature on restaurants offering picnic packages for groups now that we're able to socialize in outdoor spaces. So both of these articles that have been created are examples of content that's created answering a problem that's very present and relevant for a particular target audience. The other thing to note here is that when these larger publications create lists of brands and things that they're offering, they usually only put a sentence or two about the product or service that you're offering. So you need something, you need to have your branding and your product information really short, sweet, and snappy, so it's easily copyable and transferable. Now, aiming for Broadsheet would be great, but you can also do the same thing on a smaller scale with other small businesses who have the same target audience as you. For example, if you're a local jewelry brand, you might reach out to a local clothing brand and put together a photo shoot featuring both your products, which would then be featured across both of your marketing channels. So that's an example of cross-promotion where you would both get something out of that. Now, in both these cases, whether you're reaching out to smaller brands or larger publications like Broadsheet, it is worth trying to reach out and see what happens. The worst thing that you can get is a no. The last technique that we're going to look at today is creating audience awareness through tools. So offering free downloadable tools is a great way to draw customers in at the awareness stage. This is basically an instant problem solve for people at the top of the cycle. These tools need to be really simple while still being practical. They need to offer a quick solution, and they need to involve they need to not involve you giving away any part of what you're actually selling. So the tool needs to be separate from what you're selling. In this example, we have a European car hire brand, which is offering downloadable packing lists for customers. A downloadable packing list is going to be useful for the company's target audience of international travelers. It doesn't put on any purchase pressure, and it complements rather than devalues what the company is offering. Using this kind of technique helps position your brand as helpful and customer focused. So your workshop tasks for this week are to either put yourself in your customer's shoes and ask, if you were aware that you had a problem or a need, what questions would you ask and where would you go and ask them? Alternatively, find a direct competitor to your business and write down what they are doing in the awareness space, and then assess what you're doing in the awareness space, whether what they're offering is more effective and what you might be able to do to improve on their offering. Thank you for listening to this seminar. I hope you tune in next week.